hopefully I finally found a bench seat to fit in the hot rod build, and once we get this mounted I'll be able to check on the steering wheel position, and the pedal position. Of course we've got to connect up the clutch pedal.
And then we can fit the floor under the seat, and of course we've got to do the transmission cross member, and then we can mount the clutch slave cylinder, and we can make sure the fire works.
I've been checking eBay and Facebook Marketplace for weeks, maybe months now, trying to find a bench seat that'll fit in here. Something that, has got a frame and can just bolt in basically. Obviously I'm making my own floor in this hot rod, so I haven't got the normal Model A base, I guess, to fit anything to. I know in America there's people online have said they fit, twin seats out of a minivan, all these kind of things, and different pickups. Contacting so many people, I've seen twin seats coming up. So I just want to apologise to everyone on eBay and Facebook Marketplace that I've messaged and asking them to send me dimensions for the various seats that are out there. Anyway, hopefully I finally found something that looks the perfect width. And if you haven't guessed already, this bench seat is from a Citroen 2CV. It's actually the rear bench seat from a 2CV, and it hasn't quite got a base that will bolt directly down, so I need to weld some tabs or something on there, but it looks pretty good. And what I like about it as well is it sits really low to the ground, because I'm a lanky fellow and I want to keep the seat as low as possible in the car. So I don't know if this is a world first, a 2CV seat in a Model A hot rod, but we'll give it a go. I'm not sure if it's going to actually fit, or even if it's going to look right or whatever. And the other beauty about these seats is you can buy the new foam to go under them off the shelf, and also there's loads of companies out there that make covers there, and I've even seen some really nice ones that look kind of really period, not correct, but in the right ballpark for the kind of thing I'm building here, with nice kind of pleated seams. I'll put a picture up. So yeah, quite excited to see if this thing is going to fit. And before I can offer the seat up, I will need to, possibly get rid of, or at least alter, this bracing that I've got in here. I do kind of need to keep some kind of bracing because I'm still lifting the body up with the block and tackle, so that needs to attach to something. And until this is fully bolted in place, the temporary bracing I've got in here is also keeping, the doors from, or the door gaps about right. We already adapted one of these over here to fit the steering or something, so I think I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'll cut this brace, weld it to there. So let me get this out of the way, and then we can sit the seat in there and see if it works. Let's see if this puppy fits. The other beauty of these things is they're so light. Oh my word. That is Pretty good. Right, let's get you in for a closer look. Width-wise, I mean, it is bang on. It's kicked back now. This needs to be pushed back up under there, and what's happening is the rear feet, if we can see inside, the rear feet is sitting inside these rails. I can't remember what these rails are called now, but the front feet are sitting on the outside or kicked up above. So what I need to do is redo these front feet, where that'll allow the front end to then sit down. Because if I can do it, if I can hold it up there, and yeah, that fits in there great. Width-wise, yeah, it's looking really good. Okay, I've got this 2CV seat on my workbench here. It's upside down. Just looking at this and taking some measurements. The back of the seat is fantastic. It's about 98.5 there, and that is going to fit perfectly in between the rails in the car here. If the front of the seat was the same as the back, we'd have no issues, but what's happening is the front of this seat is quite a bit wider, so it comes out to 106. So what I'm going to have to do is, with these legs, I'm going to have to come in so it's kind of square with the back there, but also I can't cut these off flush because these side parts of the seat would hit the rails. So actually what I need to do is extend these back bits to match the front, and not wishing to overthink or over engineer it, I think what I'm going to do is just run some angle iron between these three here. I'll trim these off. I'll get a nice weld hopefully down there with the angle iron, build up these somehow, and probably do the same again at the back with the angle iron. And having an angle iron going all the way across means I can pick up the frame, either the floor structure or the frame. I can just pick up wherever this angle iron goes across there. I can just drill a hole and bolt, and the same at the back there. So that, I think, is going to be an easy kind of solution.
The floor, and I knew I wanted more. When we kissed for the first time, I fell right under your spell. When I held you in my arms, I was bound by your charms. When we got together, I fell right under your spell. Around my hands, so yeah, feel it in the air. When I held you close, I fell right under your spell.
Just saw me chopping off the front legs of the seat there, and I ground off the back legs a bit, just ready to weld. This is pretty good actually. There's a bit of a gap there. All I've done is clean these up so they're not perfectly straight. Could probably get them a little bit better, but I did my best to cut off the front legs as good as I could, but I think I just need to come down a bit on this one. It's obviously difficult to take any measurements because everything's curved. Yeah, I just need to come down a bit on that leg because these legs are up in the air a bit, but it's getting there. But I do think actually the seat frame's not perfectly square anyway, but it's going to get close. Just need to chop that one down a bit more, and hopefully you can get it good enough to weld. I can, if it's not a perfect fit, I can weld across a slight gap. And I've kept this narrow because we're going to have to trim these legs back anyway to make them fit. So that's why this looks a bit short. So just thrown a few tacks on here, and like I say, I've stepped this bar. Oh, by the way, I swapped from using angle iron to this box section because I've got this 30mm box section, which is about perfect for what I need to fit inside the rails, or the height of the rails. So I've just tacked one of these on each. So I'm going to throw it in the car now. I got a feeling I need to possibly shave a little bit more off here, so I'll probably have to do like a gusset from the original frame. Let's see if I can, yeah. So, oh, by the way, I just put some tin foil on here to try and protect the seat cover a little bit. So it's getting there, but you should see now what I'm talking about it being too wide, and I'm not sure if we can see right underneath, but in the back it's absolutely perfect, and it's dropped down in between these rail things here. But at the front you can see it needs about 20-25 mil off each side, so I think I'm going to have to build some gussets from the frame down to there. Then I can chop these off a bit shorter and it'll sit down. I mean, it's actually pretty close, but just sitting in it, it's just slightly too laid back. I think if I can bring that front down, the back will tilt up a bit obviously, and then it'll be a bit more of what I need. And anyway, I mean, I can't leave this like that, so definitely I want to try and mount that onto the inside there. So I'll pull it back out again and just see if we can make some gussets to go there. I've got these old gusset pieces already pre-cut from an old 4-link kit, so these aren't needed. But what I'm thinking is of welding those in there. Probably do one front and one back. Get that welded in, and then I can then chop that bit off, and I might put an angle on here or something. Not sure, but first of all, I want to get those welded in. I need to clean up here. Here's the brackets from the inside. Super strong weld along there. So it's a double bracket, so this is the one on the inside. And I'll spin the chair around. And here's the bracket from the front. Now this front gusset, if you like, I actually welded from the back side. So it's got a nice sort of clean edge along there. Super strong steel. Same on that one. I'm probably just going to grind that weld flat, but I'll do that after I've cut this bottom rail down. So remember, I've got to take about 25 mil off each. Obviously this is barely going to be seen when it's in the car, and I might even put like a panel of some kind over there so the sort of seat comes all the way down to the floor. But yeah, it's looking, I'm pretty happy with it anyway so far. Just chopped this bar, base bar, whatever you want to call it, back on either end. So I'm going to offer it up now. I've actually left, the leg of the base bar, it's getting confusing, on. I'm hoping this will give me enough height. It might not, I might have to trim this back a bit more. But anyway, I'm going to throw it back in, sort of baby steps, don't want to cut too much away. And we'll see how it looks. I wonder how many times I would have put this in and out of the car by the end of this episode. Let's see if we can sneak that in. Ooh, it's definitely slotted in well. yeah, might be a little bit difficult to see exactly, but as I thought, this bit is hitting the side rail before this main bar is hitting the floor. So I do need to trim up a bit more on this corner here, just so it sits down, because obviously I want to bolt the frame, well, probably belt through this part, through these outer rails, but yeah, it needs to just sit down a little bit more. So I'll put it out again, and we're just going to chop up a bit.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. The weekend comes, my cycle hums, ready to race to you. These days are ours, happy and free. These days.
You can see I've cut a bit more out now. That side and that side. Let's throw the seat in one more time and see if it's working. This is taking way longer than it should have. I think we got it this time. This is fitting really well. So there's just a little gap here now. So this main bar is sitting on where the floor is going to be. There. Now it does overhang here. And I did think about cutting it at an angle, but I forgot, of course, I need to make these sill pieces that are going to come out. So once they're built, this bit won't stick out, if that makes any sense. It'll actually look odd if I cut that off at an angle, because there'll be, there'll be a sort of weird gap. So yeah, with these kind of, like, I don't know what you call them on a Model A, but it'll be like a sill that I need to build. You can see when the door's shut, it needs this piece to come out. Need to finish up the welding. There's the center there needs welding, and the back pieces. And looking from behind, from the back, yeah, that is the back of the seat sat down there. And I've got all this extra space from this back partition bit. I can move this completely forward, so the plan is to fit a fuel tank in here and a battery. So I'm going to have so much space. I can put like quite a large fuel tank in there, battery, and there'll be still tons of boot space. Just giving this all a clean up, and yeah, looking pretty good. Quite pleased with that. I mean, you're barely going to see this in the car anyway, but I've got both front and back welded up now. I mean, it's pretty chunky metal, super strong. Obviously just put a bit of masking tape, because now I'm just going to give it a bit of primer and black paint. Just so I want to forget about it now, then I can throw it in the car. I stuck some leftover paint on the bottom frame structure last night. Let's see how it turned out. Yeah, I just had a little bit of black paint left in an old rattle can, and it's gloss. But yeah, it's looking pretty swanky under here. I was in a bit of a hurry last night. I was running out of time and it was getting really cold in here, so I just kept spraying in a couple of runs. But nothing too bad. Like I say, you'll barely see any of that. So let's throw the seat back in the car one more time and see how it all looks in the car and feels. I've only had this seat in and out about 97 times. What's one more time gonna hurt? Let's have a look at the seat in its final position. Looking really nice. And as we know from doing the frame there, the seat tapers back, so at the front it's fairly wide there, but it just about fits inside the doors perfectly, and it tapers down a bit. once we get side panels in here, and I may even do some kind of, I don't know how they finish these things off normally, across there, I think it's going to look really good. I'll put some kind of pad or something over there. I don't know quite what I'm going to do, but when I sit in here, my back doesn't hit there, which is the good thing. This seat cost me £35, which is about 50 bucks. So for a bench seat for a Model A hot rod, I'm not complaining at that. It's going to suit me perfectly. It's super comfortable. I'll get inside it and just check on that steering wheel position. Yeah, I'm super pleased with the driving position with this seat. You see pictures of old hot rodders back in the day and they're all sort of racing, all hunkered down like that. It looks really cool, I think. I mean, I'm 6'2", and I think if I had an original seat, you know, I'd be poking out the top of it, which I didn't really want. A bit of a elbow on the side action, and there's plenty of leg room. I still need to alter the position of these pedals. Of course, I didn't get around to it on this episode, but I can feel already there's plenty of leg room in there. It does need bolting down, but I'm going to wait till the finished floor is in place, and I can just drill the holes probably through the frame rails, up through the floor and into the seat. I know exactly where they're going to go, but I'm just going to wait till I get the floor in. There's no point bolting them now and then having to try and locate the hole in the floor. Yeah, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. You can give the video a like, and yeah, by all means leave me a comment. I'm really interested to know what seats you're using in your hot rods, even if it's not a Model A. Any 2CV drivers as well, let me know, you know, what these seats are like after a few hundred miles. But at the moment, yeah, it feels really good. And as I said before, I can get covers and foam off the shelf to, you know, replace what's here. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram, and we have merchandise, t-shirts, patches, stickers, even some hoodies and things. I'll put the link below, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.